A little bit about myself. My name is Marty DeGarmo. I've been online since 2004, many, many years. Full time, I've been working online. First 10 years were painful. I lost money, a lot of money. I can't say how much because my wife's in the other room and she's going to hear me, but a lot. I found out that, I got on, I saw people making money. So, this must be easy. If they could do it, I can do it. And yeah, I can, but I didn't know it was going to take a decade. What I found out is the more I learned, the more I found out I didn't know. Every time I learned something, I realized there's something else I didn't know. Well, let me speed up to about 6 years ago. I met Mike Ellis, and maybe a year later I met Dan Street, and we started many opportunities. I'm going to call them opportunities. They weren't even an opportunity when I found out. But anyway, so we would get into business. We learned how to market, brought in people. And as time went on, we found out, we're bringing people in. Now we're on the other end of the spectrum. We didn't know how to market. Now we do. This is even worse, by the way. So now we're bringing people in and we can't help them make money. Why? I can't duplicate what I did for 10 years. I just can't. I can't go back to people and say, okay, here's what you do. It's not that simple. And the sad truth is most so-called gurus tell you they can help you and all that. Some of them, I believe, mean it in their heart. But reality is, it's not true. They can't. They cannot say, here's what I did, now you have it, now you do it. It doesn't happen, and it won't happen. I can say that very clear. It does not happen. So about 16, 17 months ago, going through the phases of getting smacked around from one end of the spectrum to the other, now we can bring people in, but can we bring them in faster than they quit? That's the challenge. That's a guru's challenge. Bring them in faster than they quit. The reason they're quitting, it's not mindset. It's not, you don't have a big enough why. It's because they're not making money. Let's make this simple. You don't make money, you leave. Why? It's not that you lose money. You actually have to pay to stay in these businesses. And so you're not just behind, you're paying to lose money. It's ridiculous. And tens of millions of people are doing this day after day after day after day. And then they forget about 30, 60 days later, they said, you know what it is? I can't do this, but I can do the next one. So they jump into the next one, then they play this game again. Well, after getting beat around enough and their family's mad at them, nobody wants to listen to them, you get, oh my God, so I found myself and Mike and Dan, we couldn't bring anybody with us. So I was about done with it, really, truthfully. About 18 months ago, I was done with it. I started looking for a business. Is there a business out there that everybody gets the same pitch? It's not a fastball, screwball, it's the same pitch to everybody. And I thought there wasn't. Truthfully, I thought that business didn't exist. Well, thank God I ran into Peter Rogers from England. I've known him a couple of years. I trust him. I don't go what people send me. I go to people I trust because it's just easier that way. And he was doing something, and I looked at it and said, what are you doing, Peter? He shared it to me, and I looked at it, and I looked for really basic things, right? Can I make money? Let's not kid ourselves. Yes, the answer was yes. Can anybody I bring with me make money? The answer was yes. Is it duplicatable? Yes. Is it guaranteed? Yeah. Okay. I was like, whoa, what the heck? So I joined. I shared it with Mike and Dan, and we joined. Okay, we learned as we went, but now I know I could do something that I could share with people and they could follow me, Mike and Dan. That's what we wanted. Well, needless to say, that business is OnPassive. What I knew 17 months ago is a joke compared to what I know now. It was so much bigger, so much stronger, so much more impactful to the world than I possibly could have known that. So we found a home. I'm not going anywhere else. And it's something that anybody, anywhere, fat, skinny, tall, short, long hair, no hair, anything, okay, can do this business anywhere in the world. And Mike Ellis is going to explain that to you, that you don't need to follow somebody. You don't need to hope that it works. This is going to work for you. Get the information. You won't get any pressure from anybody here, because I believe this my whole life. If you got to pressure somebody into doing something, it's not that freaking good, okay? You just can't be that good if you have to pressure somebody. So I'm going to turn it over to my friend, business partner, who will explain this thing very simple. Get the information, and I'll be back. Mike?
No, thanks, Marty. Yeah, thanks, Marty. Obviously, you're always good, Marty, and what you've said is just spot on. I want to welcome everybody to the webinar. And this webinar, it really is the new people that are here, whether it's 1, whether it's 100, whatever the number is. And if you're coming in and exploring OnPassive for the first time, we're going to see if we can get over that bar to get you to financial independence. And I know that's a very, very high bar. And Marty's gone over some of the things that we've discovered as we've come into OnPassive. But I really want to show you OnPassive through my eyes as I came in. And I'm a pretty hard case. I've seen the good, I've seen the bad, and I've seen the ugly. And I know what ugly looks like. And as we started to explore OnPassive, we found things that we had never seen before. OnPassive is doing things online that have never been done in business, online, offline, in the history of business. They truly are revolutionary. And as I looked at OnPassive, the first thing I looked at was the two questions that Marty has already answered. One, can I make any money doing this? That's really, really important, especially if you do this full time. It's really tough if you get to the end of the month and nothing's coming in. And I know everybody can relate to that regardless of what you do. And the second question that Marty answered, yes, as we share this with individuals, can they come in and make money? And the answer to those two questions, absolutely. And not only absolutely, but in a major way, can you take care of those financial burdens that we've all had at one time and another? So as I came into OnPassive, we kept it very, very simple. And there were 4 concepts that Ash Mufareh shared with us. And as I came into OnPassive, the first thing I did was listen to a webinar that Ash Mufareh did. And as Ash talked, I listened to it for, 5, 6, 7 minutes, and I hung up. Ash he's a brilliant, mad scientist. And as I listened to him, our brains just don't work the same. This was not Ash Mufareh's fault. And Ash is the CEO of OnPassive. It was me. It's just the way my brain works. So I hung up. But there was something there that I came back to, and I listened again, and I listened again. And over the course of that time, there were 4 concepts that I got. And when you put these 4 concepts together, they are unbeatable. The first concept that Ash shared with us, that as you come into OnPassive, it is a self-funding business. What does that mean? It means you will come in, you'll go out of pocket once, you'll never have to pay again. Now, that was really refreshing for me because, like Marty said, I've done many, many businesses online, and they will milk you until there's no more money there. And you'll pay month after month after month. You won't make any money. And eventually, after 3, 6, 12 months, people just say, that's enough. I quit. I'm done. That is not OnPassive. OnPassive, you will come in once, you will pay once, and you will never go out of pocket again. The second thing that Ash shared with us, as you come into OnPassive and start your business, OnPassive is going to force you to be successful. He is going to force you to make money. Now, this doesn't mean that as you come into OnPassive, we're going to force you to work. The way OnPassive works, we outsource the building of our business to OnPassive, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. So OnPassive is going to be building our business because we've outsourced it to them, and that's how they're going to force you to be successful, force you to make money. I hope that makes sense. After we get done with these 4 concepts, you're going to see that OnPassive is a totally automated system. We're paying OnPassive to build our business and build our bottom line. Now, when I heard this, that you were going to be forced to be successful, forced to make money, I thought it was science fiction. I did not think it was possible for anybody to say that. I really did think it was science fiction until I got into the numbers of OnPassive. And as I started to understand how OnPassive was structured, how the pay plan was structured, it really was, as I thought about being forced to be successful, it was true. OnPassive can make that statement, and as you come into OnPassive, they're going to guarantee your success. You will make money with OnPassive. When you put those 2 things together, it's just a win-win. I really didn't need to hear anything more, but there were 2 other things that really were just as important. The next thing that Ash talked about, as he talked about these different concepts that have to go together, it was the traffic side of OnPassive. As you come into OnPassive, OnPassive is going to help you build your business, and the way they do that by driving traffic. And if you know anything about traffic, it's one of the most difficult things you'll do, whether you're online, offline, if you have a business, getting good qualified eyes in front of what you do, having them come in, join, and pay. And obviously, that's the end result we want. And as I think about the traffic of OnPassive, a lot of people will come in and they'll go, well, that's nice. He's going to drive a little traffic for us, and we'll get 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 6 sales a month. That's nice. It's not a lot of money. I really need to explain the traffic of OnPassive because it is massive. About 4 or 5 months ago, Ash and his team decided to actually start testing their traffic sources. And they turned on the traffic, and their goal was to bring in 1 million opt-ins. They didn't put a time frame on it, and just to see what happened. Could be a month, could be 3, could be 6, could be a year, and they cranked it up. And in 4 days, OnPassive brought in 1 million opt-ins. Now, if you've ever tried to get eyes in front of what you're doing, you know it's a very difficult thing to do. And when you hear the number, 1 million opt-ins in 4 days, this is massive. I don't think this has ever been done online either. And this is something they did without one of the products of OnPassive. And OnPassive is an AI IT company, and one of those products is artificial intelligence, AI. And when you marry artificial intelligence with traffic, you get something very, very extraordinary. And because of that, as OnPassive launches to the world, and they are scheduled to launch to the world this year, 2020, but when you put those two things together, I believe instead of 4 days, bringing in 1 million opt-ins, they can do it in 2 or 1 or 12 hours, okay? This is where volume comes in and becomes extremely important. And I want you to extrapolate that through a full year and then understand just the sheer magnitude of the volume that OnPassive is going to be driving with their traffic. It is absolutely massive. Again, you add those 3 things, it's just game over. But the last thing that Ash talked about was the customer side of OnPassive. As we look at OnPassive, AI IT company, the customer side is so important because OnPassive in the end is a customer-based business. Yes, there will be individuals coming in like you and I participating with OnPassive because it's absolutely awesome, but the customer side will be the largest part of OnPassive. And as customers come into OnPassive, they're absolutely going to love it. They will use the tools of OnPassive. These tools are proprietary. They've been built from the ground up. They are cutting edge. They are new technology. And as customers come in and use the tools of OnPassive, you have to understand they're already using these tools elsewhere online. But because of the superiority of the tools of OnPassive, they will come into OnPassive, use these tools. They will never leave. Not only will they never leave, they will come in, they'll love the tools, they'll pay a monthly fee for these tools, which bodes really, really well for us, those individuals that are participating with OnPassive, because that turns our income into a residual income. Marty talked about that a little bit. Very rarely will you find anything online that is residual. It is something you have to continually work. OnPassive, because of the structure, because of the genius behind OnPassive, has made a way for us to come in OnPassive, outsource what we're doing to OnPassive, and build a residual income that will last for decades. Put that in the back of your mind. Chew on that a little bit, and you're going to understand that these 4 things I've just talked about are a total game changer for you and for I. Anytime you can find a way to build a residual income for decades, you're in the right place at the right time. This is what OnPassive is. With these 4 things, it is totally automated. And then you add the sheer volume of OnPassive. Guys, you're in a place that the air is very, very rare. It's a place that not many people get to. And when you get there and see it and take advantage of it, your life is going to change. So how do we all come into OnPassive? Today, there's a position. It is a founder position. It's a $97 position. You can come in, pay the $97, and it will lock you into the company, and it'll lock you, more importantly, into the pay structure of OnPassive. It'll also allow you to build a team if you have that inclination. You do not have to do that. You don't have to come in and buy. You don't have to sell. You don't have to share. But if you're a builder, there are some tangible benefits if you build a team in cutting time frames. And for Marty, Dan, and I, we love to cut time frames, but it is not necessary. Because of what OnPassive does, we will all get there in time. So once you've come in and become a founder, as OnPassive launches to the world, and again, it is scheduled to launch this year, we will all come into OnPassive as customers. As we come into OnPassive as customers, we will have to pick a membership level. There are 4 of them. Each membership level has a product package in it, and then we will go in the back office, click a button, and we will become independent resellers of the IT product, the IT products of OnPassive. That's a really, really important place to be because from there, OnPassive can pay us. As we look at coming into OnPassive and picking a membership level, number 1, there are no qualifications. Again, you don't have to sell, you don't have to buy, you don't have to recruit. As you come in and pick a product package, you'll have a series of products that we can use. There is a monthly fee to that product package, okay? But again, you will come in once, you will pay once, you'll never have to pay again. The monthly fee for that product package will come out of the proceeds of OnPassive moving forward. So you'll only have to pay once, and the rest of that will come from the profits of OnPassive. So that's how we come into OnPassive. I want to stick with the theme of volume because as we look at the pay structure of OnPassive, number 1, I can't talk about the pay structure because it is proprietary, and Ash Mufareh does not want us to share that until we launch to the world. He does not want the competition to see this. I can tell you very briefly how we get paid. It'll give you an idea how it's going to work. Think of yourself as a salesperson. You go out, you make 3, 4, 5 sales, and you will get paid for those sales. You'll make a commission. The way it works with OnPassive is actually going to go into the tools of OnPassive, and there are many. One of the tools is an automated marketing platform. It has all the tools we use to market online: page builder, funnel builder, autoresponder, communication module, traffic. And they're going to go into that product, and they're going to pull out the traffic tool, and they're going to start running traffic for us. And as they start to run traffic and bring customers in, those customers will go under each one of us founding members of OnPassive, those people that are participating with OnPassive. We get paid off the volume that OnPassive puts underneath us. And they're going to put customers underneath us, and they're going to put other independent resellers of the IT product underneath us. So they're not only going to put volume underneath us, but they're going to build our team with other independent resellers of the IT product. As we look at the volume of OnPassive, this is a really, really big deal. I want to look at one product in OnPassive and just give you an idea of the sheer volume that's going to be coming into OnPassive. If I go to the communication module of OnPassive, again, that's another tool of OnPassive, and I pull out one of the tools of that communication module, say the webinar. And the webinar is a lot like what we're doing today. This is Zoom. We're doing a webinar on Zoom, and Zoom is one of the big players on the block. They have about 200 million people doing Zooms every single day. And over the course of the last 8 or 9 months, they've just grown exponentially. When we look at the Zoom product of OnPassive and we compare it to the Zoom, the webinar product of OnPassive, I hope I said that right. The OnPassive webinar compared to the Zoom webinar. And we look at Zoom. Zoom is old technology. It's old technology that's been rewrapped, put a bow on, thrown out there, and people do this every day and they make millions. That is not OnPassive. OnPassive is new cutting edge technology. And when you compare the two webinar services, the webinar service of OnPassive and Zoom, there is no comparison. When you compare OnPassive webinar to Zoom, you can't even use the two in the same sentence. That's how good OnPassive webinar service is. And when we look at what OnPassive is going to be doing as we launch to the world this year, just in this one area of a webinar product, with Zoom, there are about 25 other webinar platforms like Zoom that offer Zoom. They're webinars. They're all old technology. And as OnPassive comes in, I believe millions upon millions upon millions of people are going to leave the webinar service they're on and go to OnPassive. That will mean millions and millions of people coming into OnPassive. This is one product, a webinar service. I believe this one product alone could make OnPassive a unicorn company within a year's time. One product. That's a company with a value of $1 billion. I believe as OnPassive launches to the world with this one product, these other 25 platforms that have webinar services, I'm not sure they'll be in business in a year. Now consider OnPassive having over 3 dozen products, all of them just as good as the webinar service, all of them being able to come into whatever niche they're in and literally change the whole ecosystem. I believe as OnPassive launches to the world, it's not going to take them a year to become a unicorn company. They're going to become a unicorn company the day they launch or shortly thereafter. And again, this is all about volume. When you put those 4 things that I talked about originally with massive volume as individuals coming in and participating with OnPassive and the pay structure, it bodes so well for us and our bottom line. And in the end, that's all that matters. Can you make money? The answer to that is absolutely. I want to tell just a couple of other little stories before I hand it back over to Marty. And one is about Ash Mufareh, the CEO, the brain trust of OnPassive. About 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks ago, he had a meeting with his money people, and there were a few bankers there. And one of the bankers approached Ash and asked him, Mr. Mufareh, can I ask you a question? And Ash said, sure, ask me whatever you want. And the banker said, we see what you're doing here, and we believe as OnPassive launches to the world this year, we believe you will be either the richest person in the world or one of the richest people in the world. Why would you share this with anyone? In other words, he's talking about the founding members. Why would you share this with the founding members? And Ash looked at him a little bit perplexed, and he said, well, why wouldn't I share this with them? I know the amount of money that's going to be coming in. Why wouldn't I share the wealth? Why wouldn't I want to help people get out of the financial doldrums that they're in and find financial security? Why wouldn't I want the opportunity to change the world and really help in ways that have never been done before? And this was really appealing to me because it showed me not only the heart of OnPassive, but the heart of Ash Mufareh. And he has a heart of service. And I know as Ash started to develop and create OnPassive, one of the things he wanted to do was take the 97% of people that come online and fail. And that is the number for whatever reason it is. and turn that number around so that 97% of the people coming online would succeed. Again, I know this is one of the things that really impressed Dan and Marty, because we had struggled to try and help people become successful. Today with OnPassive, that is a reality. It is a done deal. And as we launch to the world, it will change people's lives. It's one of the main reasons we are in OnPassive today. The last thing I want to touch on is the customer side again. I believe as OnPassive launches to the world that 80% of the people coming into OnPassive will be customers, whether it's K through 12, whether it's college, whether it's small, medium, or large size businesses, whether it's governments, and I believe it'll be all of those. As they come in, they have a good budget. They don't have a problem paying for the tools they need. They will come into OnPassive. They don't care about OnPassive. They're going to come in and use superior tools because it makes their job easier and it improves their bottom line. That's it. And they're going to come in, they're going to love the tools, they're going to pay the monthly fee, and that benefits us in really, really tangible ways. As soon as they start paying a monthly fee, again, it is a residual income for us. And when you talk about the millions and tens of millions of people that are going to be coming into OnPassive as customers, that's a really, really big deal for us. But here's the ingenuity, the genius behind OnPassive. There's another 20% out there. As they come in and use the tools, they're going to love them. But it's a little different for them. They have a tight budget, and they'll come in and pay for the tools, and they're always worried about, will I be able to pay for this next month? They love the tools, but will they be able to pay for them next month? And here's what OnPassive has done. As they come in and pay for the tools, over time, the cost of those tools are going to go down. Over time, the cost of those tools will be zero. Over time, the cost of those tools will be not only will they be zero, but OnPassive is going to pay them to use those tools. When you add those two together, I don't think we will ever lose a customer. And as we look at the individuals that are coming in and all of a sudden they're getting paid to use the tools, I think they're going to boot whatever they're marketing, come into OnPassive full time, because they're going to be making more money with OnPassive than they did with whatever they were trying to market. This is OnPassive. Again, it is a reality today. We are very, very close to the launch of OnPassive. I always recommend that people come in, pay the $97 and lock your spot in OnPassive. Continue to learn more about OnPassive, to discover more about OnPassive. As you learn more, it just gets better and better and better. I know there are a lot of questions that you might have after this short presentation. Don't worry about that. That's what we're here for. I know the people that invited you here, they're just as good as I am at answering questions. And if you can't get an answer, we're here. We'll help you. And as we move forward, you're just in a really, really unique position to be able to be one of those individuals that can actually take care of that bottom line, take care of your family, and actually start being able to live the lifestyle up to now perhaps you've only dreamt about. This is OnPassive. It was made for you and I. And yeah, you're in the right place. Those two first questions, can you make any money? Can the people you share it with make money? The answer is, oh yeah, they can make money. And even more than that, come into abundance. Marty, I'm gonna hand it back over to you. Go ahead and kick it around, and we'll go wherever you want.
Thanks, Mike. Outstanding as always. See, that's why I don't give the presentation. Couple things I want to put a little different view of what Mike just said. You know, a lot of people, when they look at this, they think, well, I don't use that tool, I don't use this tool, or I don't use that tool. And I want you to look at it a little bit different. Two of the most richest women in the world are Sam Walton's sisters from Walmart. I don't know who they are, okay? I don't know them personally, I don't, whatever. But I buy stuff from Walmart, and every time I do, they get a little piece of the pie. Okay, so you don't need to know. You're going to have millions of people under you in this organization. Well, they'll be buying stuff that you may not use. It doesn't matter if you use it. If you can get a little piece of the pie from everybody that walks by your little cash register, you make a little bit more money, a little bit more money, a little bit more money. And the beauty, like Mike said, people that fall under you, whether they were brought in by someone above you, by the company's traffic, or by you, you get paid on them. No criteria. You don't have to bring in one for a left leg, one for a right leg. If they're there, you get paid on them. And it's infinity. There's no limit to how much you can make it OnPassive. In fact, we heard the other day that there will be many, many millionaires produced in OnPassive. Even the B word will be produced in OnPassive. You could be one of those. Now, you look all your life and say, well, I never did it before. Let go of before. Before stinks. I had before. Before that is not fun. We're talking about from now into the future. So get all the information that you could possibly get. Get back to the person that introduced you to this. You probably got it from a page. And ask the questions. Find out what you don't know that you want to know. Because keep in mind, 97% of the people online do not make a dime. They pay. 3% say they make money. 2% of them are lying. Because what happens is they're making money until they stop bringing people in. That's not a residual income. Residual income might be less than 1%. I believe that. And in this company, you could be one of those people that actually create an income and it grows and grows and grows and grows day after day after day after day. OnPassive is going to be a household name. You could be a bystander or you could be in it. It's up to you. But why not be in it? The other thing I want to tell you is being a founder after it launches, it's impossible to get that position again, minimum for 3 years, minimum. And when you do, if it opens again in 3 years minimum, it's going to cost thousands of dollars to get that position. So think about what you have for $97 right now. Anyway, we have a couple speakers here today. I'd like to turn it over to Alan Bourne. Alan, give us some of your thoughts.
Hey, Marty, how you guys doing today? Hi, Marty. Mike, outstanding presentation there. Always love when you come on and do this. So my name's Alan Bourne. I live in Ontario, Canada, just up north to the entrance to the Great White North in Cottage Country. So I used to work in Toronto, and I was a city bus driver for about 38 years, retired. But I always had a lot of extra time, so what I would do is I go online, and I first started seeing businesses to join. Well, so I got into a couple, but I never knew how to market. People would tell me, oh, make some posts, do this, do that. Well, I tried that. And like Marty said, I was the 97% of the people that failed. Probably like most of you on this call today. Well, sorry about that, folks. Incoming call, and the wife will pick it up. I hope. Anyways, so after trying to market, I just didn't have the budget to do it. And after the years of attempts and failures, I said, well, this is it for me. I just can't do it anymore because my budget's ran out. I'm just losing money. I'm not making any money. And like you say, you go to family, you go to friends, and no, Al. You know what? When you make your first 1,000, come and talk to me. And I said, okay. So Matt, my sponsor, not the Matt here. We don't have a Matt here, sorry. Great guy, knew him from online, a couple other businesses. So he sent me the link back in January of 2019. That's how long I've been in now. He said, Al, take a look at this. It's new. You got to get into this. This guy, Ash McCrea, he's come up with a company that's our needs. Our needs are going to be met. He's going to do the marketing for us. I said, really? All of a sudden, now, after all these years, a company's come out that's going to market for us? Okay, I'm in. Let me have a look. Well, I watched the video. Boom, joined right away, paid my founder fee, and it's been history since then. So I started doing a few posts online, got my link out there because they provide us with the links to help us market, which was bonus, great. So that was covered. So I started putting it out, and I got a few feelers, and I talked to a few people, and they watched the video, and they joined. That's how easy it was for me. Never had this happen before. All of a sudden, I got people joining my team. So we worked together a bit and got the links out. Well, to date, I have 8 personals on my team. That's never happened to me before. Why? Because now we have a system, a platform that makes it so easy in a business that everybody's going to want. I mean, how crazy is that? So that's been my dream, to have someone finally find a business that everybody's going to want. Listening to Ash, of course, his passion, his dream, what he wants to do to help us, to help people around the world. Well, I'd like to do that too. I actually enjoy when I can help someone else. So now I'm going to have the money to be able to afford to do that. So I encourage anyone out there, get back to that person who invited you to this webinar. I mean, because they have the link for you. We're all one big family here. We help each other. That's what we do. I've had, questions, and I know they've come from someone else, but I've answered their question, and they thank me for it. So that's what I really like about OnPassive and everybody here. We're just fantastic. So that's about all I have for you, Marty. I just encourage the people to step out of that comfort zone. Get away from that skeptical, will it work? I don't know. Well, you've joined others thinking they would work, but this one is real, folks. This is the real deal. Everybody here, we're in it to win it, as they say. So, okay, Marty, thanks a lot, buddy. I really enjoyed my time here. Mike, Dan, as usual, great stuff, guys. Keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you later.
Beautiful. Thank you, Alan. I'm glad you were able to come on. Let me move on to Mr. Darrell Cook. Can you unmute yourself, Darrell? You have any words of wisdom for us?
Well, I don't know about wisdom, Marty, but I can tell you what, I'm excited. thanks to Dan Street, business partner for about 6 years now, he and I had a conversation back in November, and he said, I really would like you to take a look at this business. He said, it's something that I think has got a lot of potential. And so I did, based on trust of Dan, and I just went in and I kind of sat back for a while. And around January, I said, wow, when I got in, there was X number of people, and now we're about double, or getting to close to double. And so I started to get a little bit more intrigued about what was going on, especially because of the products that were being promoted. It doesn't matter what product you're going to try to market, what kind of information you're going to try to market. Everybody today needs some kind of online platform, and you're going to go to one company or another to get that. So with the brilliance of Mr. Mufara to say, hey, look, let's find a platform where we're all under one umbrella, one price platform, you got it, plug and play, and you're off and running. That was exciting because I have tried to market and never was very successful. Like you'll hear that time and time again with many people that come on to share their story. But another thing I want to let you all know is that coming from the education world, if you're looking out there now and you have a child in school, you have someone in college, businesses are now using platforms like Zoom and all of that, has exponentially increased that market because people are doing it from home. Just in our little area, I live about 6 hours north of Marty in the boondocks of the Adirondack Mountains in New York State. Even our schools are having, off days, on days for students to go into the building and doing it at home. Just that one platform. Think about how many students right now are sitting home going to school. So that excites me, folks. I could go on and on and on. The brilliance of Mr. Mufara in putting this whole platform together, one-stop shop, plug and play, $97. I took my two brother-in-laws out for a game of golf one day, and it cost me $93. Guess where that all went? In the woods. And I didn't even go try to find the golf balls. Well, anyways, so I just encourage you, have fun with this thing. It's global. What a great community. We're based on trust of a man whose vision, who is going beyond. And everything, you'll hear Red Redford say this all the time, everything that this man has said has manifested itself because his team is so good. You'll go to back office, which is one of our tools, incredible tool. Yesterday there was this, today's there these, and tomorrow there'll be those. And he keeps building it, and it's all for us for one price, $97. Thanks a lot, guys. Super job, Mike, Marty, everybody. Thanks so much.
Darrell, thank you very much, man. Perfect. Red, what do you got on Q&A and anything you can add to this conversation? You're looking good,
let's do the
way.
Q&As first. And I know I've put the video on for this one, only because I had a shave sort of. Anyway, only a couple of questions. As always, the usual, is the company legal? Yes, the company's legal. It was registered back in July 2018 in Orlando, Florida. Oh, that's a bit better. And is also registered in over 200 countries and states throughout the globe at the moment. Another question here is, how long is the founder's position going to last for? Well, the founder's position actually starts on launch date, whenever that's going to be. As Mike said, it is going to be this year, 2020. From that date, we are founders for 1 full year. There will then be a renewal on our anniversary. What price that's going to be, none of us know at this moment. I can tell you one thing, it won't be $97. What it's going to be, we have no idea at the moment, but there will be a renewal. And as Marty said as well, this will only be renewals for existing founders. There will be no new founders positions for a minimum of 3 years, possibly even 5 years, but we'll have to wait and see on that. And the last question that somebody put to me was, what is exactly meant by time frames? Mike mentioned about cutting time frames. Well, a time frame is basically for yourself. It is whatever your goal is, whatever your figure is that you have in your head, what you do, the work prior to launch is going to cut cut the time down to get to that figure or get to your goal. That is what was meant by a time frame. And all we're doing is putting some work in now before the actual launch itself to cut that time down. As we've said before, you don't have to do any of this, but if you want to cut those time frames, then you put a bit of effort in now to share what we've got, and that's it. Do you want anything else from me, Marty?
Whatever you want, Red. What else? What do you want to add? Anything?
I'll tell you what I will say. I'll tell you what I will say, actually, is yesterday was a big day for me because it was my 2-year anniversary from when I joined. Now, I joined 28th of September back in 2018. There was myself and Peter Rogers. We hopped on, and when we joined, OnPassive didn't even have a name. Everything was done off an Excel spreadsheet. You actually had to ring Ash to say you've made a payment. He then stuck you on this Excel spreadsheet. We had one video we could share, and it was about 3.5 hours long. It was just crazy in those days. But like Darrell said, everything that he said in those early days about what his vision was, what he wanted to see happening. He said we were going to have a back office. He said about the tools and the links and things we were going to have. All of this has come to fruition. You know, I can't praise the guy enough. Not only is he a visionary, he's a little bit crazy as well, but so all of us. He's got a super heart of gold, and what he wants is the best for absolutely all of us. He wants to share that wealth around. He's a wealthy man in his own right already. He's going to be a very wealthy man after this as well, but what he wants to do is drag us along with him, and I'm more than happy to be dragged along and for the ride. And hopefully you new guys here will be as well. One other thing, the 97 as a founder is 100% guaranteed. At any time during your founder membership, you want to have that $97 back, you can request it and the company will pay you back. You will lose your whole team, of course, if you've got one, but you can at any point get that money back. Anyway, that's it for me now, Marty. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Red. Looking good, buddy. Looking good. Listen, if I leave without listening to a woman's point of view, you don't understand what kind of trouble I'd be in.
Oh,
So,
Marty, big
Go
trouble.
ahead. Yeah.
Big trouble.
Go ahead.
Big trouble. Hi, everybody. Well, this was a really great webinar. And I'm Susie McCrea. I'm out in Amherst, Massachusetts. And I've been a proud founder since January of 2020. And what I like to tell people is, you heard a lot today about online marketing, people trying to make money online, people trying to help out their teams and it not being successful. And you may look at this and say, I have no idea what these people are talking about because my brother invited me to this, or my uncle invited me to this just to listen, and I have no idea what they're talking about. This doesn't sound like my cup of tea. And I understand that. And what I'm going to tell you is that is the beauty of this. You may be hearing words like growing a team, having customers under you, and you may be holding back like, I don't want to have to worry about that. What do you mean a team? Does this mean I have to be answering questions? How much do I have to learn? How much time is this going to take? And the best way I can say it to you is don't worry. That's the beauty of this. It's automated. Jump on board as a founder. Come on board. You're going to learn a few things. I don't want to say that you can just sit back and relax, but you can if you want to. That's your choice. I have a lot of friends and family members who have jumped on board. They know, love, and trust me. I have been doing all of my research on this, and they are part of this family, and it's going to change all of our lives. So if you're looking at this and thinking, I just don't know. I mean, what am I going to do with a team, with all of this? Don't worry about that. That's what I fell in love with. I am 59 years old. I've worked hard my whole life. I was in a network marketing company. I'm still in. It's been about 5 years. And quite frankly, what really piqued my interest with this was that the company will take care of all of our customers for us. I won't be the one getting asked questions or troubleshooting or having to check my phone or, oh my God, did I get back to this? No, that's the beauty of this. When this company launches, the customer is king. Like Mike Ellis says, this is a customer-based business, and this company is going to support and take care of the customers and teams that go under us, and we are going to be able to earn from that. It's beautiful. It's a perfect business. I finally found the perfect business at this age. I feel like I'm home again. So don't let any of that make you afraid or get scared about it. Jump in, $97. We are in it to win it. Get back to the person who invited you, okay? I promise you. Mark this day in your calendar. It's the day that you made the choice to change your life forever and get financial and time freedom, which I want both of those because I want to travel to all of these countries and all these great friends I've met through being a founder with OnPassive. Okay, that's the ladies' point of view today, Marty. It's all yours. Bye, everybody.
You represented the women great. Dan, you got anything, buddy? Besides the nice background?
I'll add a couple of things. I just like all the new people to just imagine, just to take it, absorb what's been said today with Mike's presentation and Darrell's input and Alan and Red and Susie, and just think about the products they're talking about, okay? These are AI products that are proprietary and really are unique and for the most part have never been seen before. So that's another very unique thing about OnPassive is these are These are products that are built from scratch. And another thing I'd like to point out for all of you that are looking at an opportunity is think about the opportunities you've been in the past, because that's what I do. And they're Me Too products, for one, but there's always been some kind of a prerequisite for me to make money. There's always been some kind of a cap on the amount of money that I could make. Well, not so with OnPassive. There's unlimited amount of income that you can make. There's no prerequisites for you to make an income. And you don't have to recruit, as Mike was talking about. You do not have to recruit people. You're going to get your advertising paid for. These are very key points that we bring up over and over and over again. And keep in mind, this company, or you consider any company, it's got to be able to go global instantly. And that's the case. I mean, Red said it. Over 200 countries we're registered in right now. And this is a digital company that is going to go viral globally with proprietary products. So just let your imagination take over there and think if that's worth $97. That's all I have, Marty.
Yeah, let me add a couple things in there, Marty, real quick. For the new people that are here, the size of our market is pretty important. And when you look at OnPassive, it is a company with a total business solution and a total personal solution. Our market is about 4.6 billion people. In other words, there are things in OnPassive that just about everybody online can use, whether it's personal, whether it's business. And when you start to think about the sheer volume, and that's really, really important to what we do, as OnPassive goes viral, we're talking about tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people coming into OnPassive. And as you think about it, keep it simple, keep it down to those 4 points and the sheer volume that OnPassive is going to be doing. And then in the back of your mind, like everybody has told you, this is automated. You can come in, and by outsourcing to OnPassive, they are going to take care of everything. They're going to take care of the customers. You will, in fact, the customers coming in underneath you, they're not even going to know who you are. They're not going to have a clue who you are. And as you come in and the customers start to flow underneath you, OnPassive is going to take care of all those millions of people. And just that alone will show you what Ash and his team have done in the last 2 years. He really did need the amount of time he's taken to develop and make OnPassive what it is today. Because if he hadn't, he wouldn't have been able to really accommodate the volume that's going to be coming into OnPassive. This is a really, really exciting time as you look at OnPassive and where you're at. It is the opportunity to come in and pay the $97 and be in a position to really take advantage of everything OnPassive. And as we look at the founding position, I've never seen anything like this in my 12 years online. I don't think I'll ever see it again. I don't think you'll ever see it again. This is so unique and will benefit you in ways that you can't even fathom right now. We had a webinar with Ash just a couple of days ago, and Ash talked about the pay plan that we'll be under. And again, it's proprietary. We can't talk about the specific plan, but he showed it to his wife, and this will give you an idea of how good it is. When he showed it to his wife, she was speechless. She couldn't talk. It was so good. And her response to Ash as she regained consciousness was, Ash, how are you going to share this with your founders? And what she was relaying is these founders, they're going to pass out or have a heart attack. This is the ingenuity of OnPassive. I know there's a lot of stuff that we're throwing at you right now. Don't worry too much about it. Keep it simple. Think about the volume, and then think about what it's going to do in your life. That's pretty much where we're at today. It's a very, very exciting place to be. And I think as you come in and continue to explore OnPassive, you're going to see it just gets better and better and better. I've been in 18 years, and that's what's happened to me. Every time Ash gets on, my mind just explodes. So, Marty, I'm going to hand it back over to you. You can wrap it up. And, yeah, get excited where you're at. You're in a very, very good place. Marty, go ahead.
All righty. Well, look, if that doesn't smack you around a little bit, I don't know what else would. $97, get in. Why not? My gosh. You got enough there we're here for you, whatever you need. And by the way, if you did want to grow a team and you don't know how, you send them to a Zoom just like this. We'll share it with them. And if they want to get in, they'll get in. But I'm telling you, don't let this pass you by. You're going to kick yourself later. Anyway, God bless everybody. And I'll see you next time. And have a great day. And thanks for being here. Bye.